Okay, we have finished the concept of estimates. So we have gone through many different type of estimates and how they are being used for different stages of the project, different stages of the life cycle of the project. So once you've prepared your estimates and then you went for a tender or you went for a proposal or you went for a negotiation with your client, and then, both of you actually you are maybe from the contractor or design and build contractor. And then with the client, you negotiate for the price. And then, based on some contractual arrangements, which we will be covering in procurement, you will essentially be confirming on a price to do the work, you see. So this price to do the work is what we call a budget. Okay, so once the client confirm, or if you are in the position as a client engineers, you've already gone through the costing and estimates work that is done by your contractor, proposal proposed by them, and you confirm that you want to give them the job for that amount of money. All right, so that will build up to what we call a budget. Okay, so in the end of the day, at the end of the day, what we are wanting to, you basically finish 50% of the work when it comes to cost management. The other 50% is when the site is starting to go on, and then project is being executed, construction started, procurement started. Then we are essentially, our job, the other 50% will be consider, controlling the budget. So controlling the budget, there are some techniques that we will use to see how to control the budget. When we say control, it will usually mean some monitoring work first, isn't it? So how do you do monitoring work for budgets? And from the monitoring work, how do you detect that something is not right, you see? And if you can't even detect something is not right, then we will generally have nothing to control because you don't even know that there's a problem, you see. So what happens is we will produce something called S-curve. This is a very good monitoring tool. So with S-curve, it's like a display, it's like a display on a graphical format, many things that you can look at, and mainly it will be the budgets. Okay, there is two type of S-curve. One is called financial S-curve, one is called physical S-curve. So financial S-curve is what we're using to detect variances later on. Okay, so I will show it to you in a while. So when we talk about this curve, it will, the reason why it's called S-curve is because it's usually a bit slower, and then it will accelerate upwards, towards the middle, and then it will be steeper, and then towards the end, it will flatten out. But not all the time that, S-curve is fast. So it's just a name, yeah? Right, so it doesn't mean that, if you're being called handsome, you are actually handsome, or if you're being called pretty, you're actually pretty. See? So it's the same concept. Yeah, right. So there's two types of S-curve. So S-curve is actually the baseline. So we're actually creating a very simple baseline that is very easy for us to look at and the client to look at, so that we all can be on the same plan of mind as well on how we're going to be spending the money. So basically, it's about how you're going to plan to spend your money over the period of time for your project. So we talk about financial S-curve here first. Let's not talk about physical first. We talk about financial first, because we're in cost management. That's what we're doing now. Okay. So then, so how do we produce that curve? That's the first thing. So you can see that whenever you have the work breakdown, after you've done your work breakdown, okay, and then you've got your duration as well. So you've got the schedule basically, and then every activity after you've done your costing estimates, in your once a budget is being approved in your BQ, essentially there is this major activity with the cost or the budget for that particular work. So let's say if this is the final budget, so that means activity like, for example, general preliminaries, you will have like 200,000. Then you're going to have site clearance work with 275,000, etc. So the structural work, geotech work, civil work, work, so you're going to get this different sum of money basically that is attached to different work. So if there's a different subtotal to the work. So with that subtotal, we're actually looking at this section. So you fill it up. Okay, you really need to go down to the smaller activity. In your cost estimates, you've already done your smaller estimates. If you do each component kind of thing. So normally we just focus it on the big component because at the end of the day, the sum of the money will add up to be your contract sum anyway. So it doesn't matter. So you don't have to make yourself too complicated. Just go for the layer 1 activity, in your work breakdown analysis, or it can be part of your BQ. So there's two components. One, the contractor will keep one based on their own costs, because these are the costs of doing the work, not including profit. Then there's part you will be communicating with the client, and that will be based on the budget that both of you are approved. And that will be a contract between the two of you. You see, so this contract will have these different major activities that will line up with the summary of tender normally. You will line up all the activities, the major activities, and telling us that, the major activities inclusive of all the BQs under each major activities, you will have a subtotal. That subtotal will be for that particular activity. So you just take it out, you write it down, okay, and then you create a table like this. Then, of course, you have to take note of the days or the duration of work. Let's ignore this bit first, because this is going to be on physical S-curve, okay? So, what we will do is we will just like what we did with resources loading. This is about money, so you can divide by 3. So this is your Gantt chart. You can load it up equally, or you can do it like, a bit more in the beginning, a bit less at the bottom, and or you can do like 700, and then the rest of the 4 is 500, 500, 500. It's all depending on this particular activity. Some activities will have a very high initial cost. Some activity will very high at the end of the day cost, depending on what type of activity. Earthwork will probably be a bit slower in the beginning, and then it will pick up, and it will be more and more expensive, or towards the second month onwards, the cost will probably be about equal. You see, pipeline work will definitely be a lot more higher the first 2-3 months, and then towards the end it will be a lot less, because there are only labor and machine and cost involved. So it's nothing much involved anymore. So the important thing is just the concept of spreading the cost over your Gantt chart. That's all. Okay, very simple. Yeah, I mean, it's simple mathematics. So then after you spread it over, so what you do is you take you take it down, you add it up vertically again. You add it up vertically again. So this one add up, this one add up, this one add up. Something is double, so you have this extra. Don't worry about this. You can just write your numbers here, and then you just add it down. Okay, add it down vertically. So once you've done it, you can just basically take this number and do a cumulative. Cumulative means 467 plus. Second month is 467 plus 467, and then the total plus 467, total plus 540. That is cumulative. So from this cumulative, we will produce what we call a graph. So that graph will be the cumulative cost over time, basically. Okay, and that will be how your curve will look like. So this will be your cumulative, this will be your time, month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, month 7, and then day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and this will be a cumulative cost. So you just plot your graph, very simple. You don't really have to make it S. It doesn't have to look like an S all the time, depending on the project itself. Okay, so this is what we call a financial S-curve. And this will be something that we will look at all the time. And in what we call an EV technique, this will be your plan value. This is your budgeted cost of the work schedule. So this is before anything starts, before anything is being, called for. No work is being done yet. This is your planning of how you're going to spread the cost over the next few months, or next few days, or next few weeks. Okay, I hope this is easy to understand.